So we're at MWC 22 in Barcelona. I'm here with Rima Qureshi. She is Chief Strategy Officer at Verizon. Rima, great, thanks very much for joining us today. So what kind of company do you expect Verizon to be by 2030? Will it still be regarded as a communications service provider, do you think?
I would say the company is going to be a network as a service company, which is basically our strategy today. So a network that is multi-purpose, that is available for our use, for others' use, and that serves many purposes, whether it be wireless solution, wireline solutions, consumer, business, industry. And what we are in the process of developing and implementing is what will be the company Verizon in the future, which is providing all of these solutions for all of these different use cases.
So as part of that transition to become a network as a service company, how do you view the relationship between Verizon and the big hyperscaler cloud companies like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud? Are you on an equal footing with these companies right now? Is the relationship symbiotic?
It is a symbiotic relationship. We have partnerships with all of the companies that you mentioned. We are using their cloud solution for public and private MEC, various degrees of implementation for each one of those cloud providers. And the overall mobile edge compute solution that we provide, based on the customer's requirements, we will provide the edge cloud solution that the customers may already be using. And that makes it easier from a customer perspective to then add the 5G enabled edge solutions in addition to whatever they may be using the cloud companies and the cloud solutions for. So partnerships, that's the key. And we have joint go-to-markets, we have rev share agreements with these companies, and we each have a role to play in the overall mobile edge compute solutions that we're creating.
So do you get the sense that the relationship is morphing as the market changes? Is the dynamic between the telcos and essentially the hyperscalers changing as time goes on?
I'm not sure. There is obviously the whole solution and the area is developing, and we are working together to look at how we will develop those use cases and how we will develop those solutions. And given that we were very early in the market, we're also looking at what do the developers want, what are the use cases that developers may need for the public cloud, and what are the use cases where it would make sense for the private cloud. And then we're seeing needs as we move forward on the hybrid solutions as well, where you want some solutions on public, maybe some on private. So I would say the overall go-to-market approach, the partnership evolves with the customer needs. And that's what we are working through. So each customer needs to figure out what their use case is, and then we work through with the partners to determine what is the best approach.
For companies like Verizon, I mean, the entire market of providing services to end users is changing. Do traditional CSPs such as Verizon need to branch out into additional service sectors such as banking, utilities, and so on? And what can be done to further leverage the existing billing and customer engagement relationship you have with end users?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question, and I think it depends if you're looking at it from a consumer perspective or a business perspective. So if you take the consumer perspective to start with, you've got a very strong consumer D2C footprint already, or if you look at the customer base that we have on the consumer side, over 100 million subscribers. And that is a great platform for us to continue to develop on. So you provide connectivity services. Beyond the connectivity services, you can look at providing media content services. And so if you think about our relationships with Disney+, Hulu+, Discovery, those are services that we can leverage the customer base that we have, and we provide them those capabilities. And I think it depends on the partner that we are talking. In some cases, they would like us to do the billing. In other cases, that the billing might be done by them specifically. So that's part of what we are working through. And we're leaving it up to the consumer specifically to decide with what we call mix and match. So it's not the same solution for everyone. In some cases, there may be more of an interest in a family plan, there might be more of an interest in a media offering, and it really is up to each of the consumers to do it. But I think the point is very valid, is you've got this customer base, and what are the services that you can provide. Credit card as another example, loyalty programs, rewards. Those are all of the types of things that we are looking at. We're not thinking about going into banking as an example, but we do believe there are services that we can provide beyond the connectivity. So that's on the consumer side. On the business side, again, there's a similar mix and match, and there are offerings that you can look at where you have fixed and mobile together. And then it really depends on what kind of a business are you. Small business, maybe it's some of the similar key functionalities that you may have on the consumer side. Medium-sized business, global enterprise, different offerings, different use cases. And again, the objective is always to leverage the network that's built once, and then you develop the capabilities that you want. And then on top of that, on the business side, on the industry side, we're looking at where it makes sense to build use cases and solutions, so software that go above the network where we have a right to win. Right. And the objective always is, and that's part of my team, which is called the New Business Incubation Team, and my challenge to them always is, why is it better on 5G? If you can do it on any other kind of technology, if somebody else can deliver it in a way that you are not making order of magnitude changes, then somebody else has a right to win. But there are more and more of those use cases, new ecosystems that you're opening up that require that sub 30, sub 100 millisecond latency where we have a right to win and where you can make that link to the network. So that's a long answer. The short answer would be, yes, we should be looking at other things, but as long as it still leverages the network, because the key is the network, that gives us the right to win, and that gives us that value when we tie it to the best network in the industry.
Okay, excellent, interesting. So obviously that developing broader services portfolios is something that nearly every operator is looking at now. And another thing they're all considering and thinking about is sustainability and what that means for their businesses. Is energy efficiency a much bigger focus area for you and Verizon these days? And are there any particular products, tools, or processes that can help Verizon to cut its output and increase its energy efficiency?
Energy efficiency is definitely an important aspect and an important target. So we have signed up to the objective that the industry has to lower to net zero by 2035. Our objective is to be there before then. We have just issued our fourth green bond. Each one of them was about $1 billion, it was $1 billion each. And the interest is there. We are committed with the money that we receive to ensure that our networks, our facilities are all using green energy. So that's all part of it. In addition to that, we are developing solutions that leverage 5G that are going to provide solutions such as the microgrid, being able to use electric vehicles to charge facilities. We've got working solutions that are leveraging our software and our network, as well as leveraging partners that we are working with, startups that are looking at this field. So very much committed to the target, and our objective is to exceed the target and to demonstrate that, as an energy utilizer, we have to ensure that we have green sources of energy. Okay,
excellent. Now, one of the main challenges in being a female leader at a company operating in a very male-dominated industry like telecoms, how do you overcome these kind of challenges? And at the same time, what are the main advantages of being a woman in a leadership position? And do you see more women coming into very senior positions in telecoms now or in the future?
So I would start by saying I don't see myself as different than anybody else. I do my job. And my objective is to let my job and my results speak for themselves. And the way that I feel it is important is to set a good example. I have two daughters. They're not working in the field. I need to make sure that they see that there is no difference between men and women, and each one has the right to succeed based on their capabilities. And I am a firm advocate of being available for anyone who needs help, any type of advice, male or female, because I think we could all use a helping hand from time to time. And whatever I can do, I would love to be there as a mentor and as a supporter. I wouldn't go as far as a role model. We have our own issues, and we all, have our little ups and downs. But I'm happy to be there to provide any type of support that anybody would need.
Okay, great. Well, I can confirm that pretty much all men need help on a very regular basis just to get through the day. So any help along those lines is always appreciated. Now, obviously, we're in Barcelona, and people come here for Mobile World Congress, but they also do work outside of the Fira, in the restaurants, in the bars, in the hotels. When you're out in Barcelona, what is your go-to tapas of choice, and what drink are you going to order with it?
Go-to tapas of choice is Iberico ham. And I found this great location. I couldn't tell you where it is. It's somewhere in the old town. But the only thing they served were the different qualities of ham. And behind me was like a wall of ham legs. And the best is the one that's acorn fed, that's 5 years old. It's got a black label, so you got to look for that. And of course, cava. That is always my drink of choice, actually, regardless of if I'm in Barcelona or not.
Excellent. Well, great tip. I know where I'm going to be haunting around tonight, looking for something to eat a bit later on. Rima, thanks so much for joining us. Great to talk to you again.
Thank you.